back, Raw Nation, to another installment of Raw View, where you get a better insight of these king and queens behind the scene. I'm your host, Cheno Royal, baby. I'm here with, what's your name, sir?
Brian Foster, We Are Media.
Mr. Brian Foster. And he made it clear this time, bro. Y'all, bro, we did a whole take. It broke my heart. I don't even know what to do. But we're just going to, bro, what do you think? We got to wing this one. What do you think? Like, because he already poured his emotions out. I don't even know what to say right now, bro.
It's too authentic to repeat.
Yeah, people are never gonna understand this man's whole life. He just spilled the beans, and like I don't know how to get that moment back.
Yeah,
but we're
man,
gonna come back in, and we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna fuck it up anyway. But hey, Mr. Brian Foster, man, how you doing today, bro?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, brother. I appreciate you for sliding on out, showing me some love. Been a long time coming, man. I have to pay my respects, pay my dues. I've been seeing you doing your thing for a while now. Messing with some of my brothers up here, like T-Zank and all of them. But definitely want to give you your flowers in the beginning because I've been seeing you doing this for a grip, man. Definitely influenced some of the ways, like I've even done some of my my skits and different things I've done on YouTube. So definitely want to pay my respects first and say welcome. It's all love here. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
But go ahead for the fans back at home, brother. Just elaborate on who We Are Media and Brian Foster just actually is, man.
Well, We Are Media is a little simpler. We Are Media is a media company. We'll shoot your music videos, your commercials, your ads, your weddings, your porn, wherever you need.
Of course.
We Are Media take care of you there. Brian Foster, however, I'm a little more complicated because I'm not sure who I am myself. But if we had to put like a label to this chapter of my life, I think my main focus is directing and cinematography.
Okay. And how did you get into all that stuff?
I spent. I used to just love to create. I've created my whole life. It started, drawing, poetry. I remember writing raps 7, 8 years old. Then I realized I can engineer. So then I started engineering music. And then I realized that you can make skits and music videos. And I'm like, hold on, this is pretty dope. This is pretty dope. And then I just kind of got good at it. And people were, writing me all the time, like, hey, will you shoot this for me? Will you shoot this for me? And they're offering me hundreds of dollars. And, I'm working for $10 an hour. I'm like, I could do this for a living. You're telling me I could make my check in a day? And the rest is history, man.
That's crazy, man. How did I know we were talking about you being an artist before all this as well. Like, how did that all start, like musically? Like, walk me through the journey, like, so to speak. Let's take that Magic School Bus journey real quick. Like, how did that all happen?
How I started music?
Yeah.
I was probably a little outcasted as a child. I was a little different than everybody else, so I would kind of just be in my own world. Everybody would do their own thing, and everybody was into something. It felt like everybody was, you got your kids that like Pokemon cards, and then you got your kids that like sports, and you got your jocks, and you got your emos, and you got Brian over here, and then ain't no fucking telling what this guy got going on over here. So I would just be in my own world, and I didn't have parents or anything like that. Well, I had a mom, but it's a whole situation. So I found myself writing a lot, and I just really fell in love with creating. And then later on down the line, you start to record it and you're like, wait, I can do this too. So now I'm engineering, and now I'm, it's just a long line of all that stuff.
Was there anybody in particular that influenced your craft or the way that you did things? Like, it could be a celebrity, any local legend.
Not at all.
No.
None.
Picked it up on your own. You're just like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I did. I've heard this saying one time, and it related so bad. Like, I never really had anyone to look up to, but I knew a bunch of motherfuckers I didn't want to be like.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. Like, with a lot of stuff that I do, like, a lot of people did influence like what I have going on, but like such as yourself. But like I know
Thank you.
as an artist that we strive to obviously put forth like what we're talking about, even like with Star Wars and like all that stuff that we're talking about, having our own ideas and separating that from where we've been influenced from. And I
Yeah,
know that's a big thing for artists. And I know that there's nobody that come. Let me put this forward. There is nobody that comes close to your style, and even if they did, I would automatically be like, bro, that's We Are Media right there. Like I don't know
that's
what else to say about that. There's nobody
yeah,
else.
I like that. And that comes from not being like too influenced by people. Like I don't watch a lot of music videos. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't it's just all from the heart. So
Right.
good or bad, it is from me. So I
Okay.
mean, let me be honest. Like I'm sure there's some influences in my head. We're all influenced by something
Of
along the
course.
way.
Of course.
So but yeah,
No,
not nothing.
never, never,
Yeah.
never. It's all original.
Not
It's
a
all
soul. This is
original.
I'd have my own language and everything if that was
Said I
yeah.
came out of a cave, bro. I
Yeah.
don't know anything. But like
Get all
I,
my
I
ideas from the ether.
yeah, I'm pretty sure like through your journey of doing all this stuff, you bound to have like a few stories, and I would love to hear some of the good and even bad stories when it came to both musically and um just making movies. And I know they're two separate things. That's why I want to make sure we can separate the two.
um, music, music. The music scene in a whole kind of. I didn't take it well. I think it just started messing with me mentally. I
Yeah.
think it does. I think it does to a lot of people, and I don't think they're aware enough to notice it. And I think we all get so tied up in wanting to be, good at what we do, and we kind of lose the big picture there. So, I mean, the whole thing as a whole was shitty. But dude, we used to do some raggedy shit back in the day, man. Like I wasn't Brian 2.0, I was Brian 0.1. Let's give you a story, man. Let's hype up the podcast for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah. Come on now. I want
I
to hear
won't be
these
so
stories.
boring with you, man. I'm getting old and boring now, but okay, so one time I used to be with this group, Forever Grinding. It was my guy Hollywood down here. It was one of the biggest groups in the city,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was so excited to be a part of this group. There were some other people on the group. There was this one dude particular. His name was Lil Boo, right? And he was a wild little motherfucker,
Yeah.
crazy dude. He lived like behind the fairgrounds in Indians, shitty neighborhood. Apparently, the shittier the neighborhood, the more glorified it is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we were at this show. It was me and my dude. Uh, we're not even old enough to be in there, honestly. And they started jumping. There was like we're the only white dudes in there, and it's like a crowd full of like 200 people.
Oh
And they
my
started
God.
jumping my dude, Lil Boo. And so for some reason, I thought I was like Superman. So I jumped off the stage and just jumped on the biggest dude there, right? And
Jesus.
there's like hundreds of people in the crowd. And then I look over, and the only person helping me out of all these people is the other little white dude with me. And he's throwing a fucking table across the place. He hit them like they were like duck pins, though. It was so funny. It's like threw it. And it's like a whole duck pin. If not trying to mean like that or anything. When black people, they could fight.
Yeah.
We're two little white dudes. We ain't got fucking chance in here. I don't know what we was thinking. I don't know what
Right.
we was doing.
They got the whole blowhorn like. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking stomped, and they don't care to jump you. They'll jump you too. We are getting stomped. Well, really, we held our own in there, man. But I just remember looking up. I ended up on the ground, and I was looking up, and there was like a size 15 Chuck Taylor coming straight for that
Oh my
forehead.
God.
Like, but yeah, man, the music scene was a little wild. I couldn't think of too many stories there, but I feel like that was a good one to hype it up a little bit. I don't glorify violence, and I don't glorify jumping in crowds or anything like that. I think it was the most ignorant thing I could have did. I could have got myself killed. For some reason, I was tough guy of the year back then.
He's like, keep in mind, everybody, PSA, we don't like violence, but if I gotta
Yeah,
fuck
we don't
somebody
do,
up,
we
I'll
don't do
fuck somebody up.
that. We don't do that. The dude that was with me, man, he just got arrested on the craziest shit ever. He was one of my best friends then, but we fell out a while. Like didn't really fall out. We just grew apart.
Yeah.
I just seen him on the news, right?
Recently?
'Cause, yeah, recently. You could
Okay.
probably look this up. Man robs a chick, right?
Okay.
Puts a gun up to her, and then gets her Facebook, robs her with my gun, gets her Facebook, messages her later, sorry I robbed you. But I'll pay you back, da 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 da, and tries to holler at her. She's like, what the fuck? I'm
He's
calling the
like, hey,
police.
baby.
Bro, it's crazy. You can look it up on Google. Like it's like 2 months old,
He's
maybe a
like
few
that
more months.
guilt. He's like that
Yeah.
guilt a motherfucker, but baby, you looking mighty nice. I didn't get the
Yeah.
time to look at you.
You were bad though. Like, bro, what is wrong with you?
Oh my god. But how about that's the music, but how about with the videography, the directing? What are some like high and low, like what's a couple stories? We can do one each of a high moment and a low moment when it came to just directing in general since you've been in it.
Uh, that's a good question too. Um, let's see. Let's see if I can go for a high moment first, since we
Okay.
went back to my old ratchet days, man. Let's try to fix that
Good old shit
before
sandwich.
anybody
real
gets the wrong idea about me here, man.
quick.
Good times with the videography. You know, it's hard to say because they're all good times, to be honest with you. I'm so grateful for what I do. I'm grateful for the people I work with. Um, I've had some weird encounters where like people like love to point guns at you and stuff. That started early in my career, as rappers would really like to point, and I had to like nip that in the bud a few times. It didn't always like go very well either.
Mhm.
So, just things like that. I guess that would be the pinnacle of bad for me, because nothing has like really went too terrible for my videography yet.
Mhm.
Well, I did get my stuff robbed one time, but
Really? I mean,
yeah,
that's something. That's
yeah,
something. I
it
love how
is.
you're
Yeah, I got
brushing
my
that
shit.
off.
Yeah,
He's just like,
it
I
happens,
mean,
man.
unless
It
you want me to
happens.
say I got robbed, I guess, but
Yeah. Uh, I don't know, man. Good, bad. It's all a little good and bad. It's hard to say because I haven't had a lot of too many stories there. Uh, yeah, that's a tough one, man. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. Could you maybe you can just give like a couple moments where you're just like, yeah, bro, but the highs right here, these couple high moments that I had, like directing like this or directing this, or like maybe it was a moment of like an epiphany clicked for you in like one scene or whatever, but maybe something even new that you did that you never thought you could do.
I mean, the movie I'm working on right now is like my first feature movie, and there's been a lot of highs here. Some stuff I didn't think was gonna work out, and the way
Okay.
like the universe was kind of putting stuff together for me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just everything's falling apart, and people are calling off, and the places are calling off, and then all of a sudden you get a offer for a place and an offer for the gear that was not able to get or something like that, and things have been like really working in my favor for this movie. Even there's been a lot of drama behind it too. Drama you don't know you have. One thing I've learned about making a movie, if anybody like ever goes to make a skit or make a movie or anything like that, it's like my biggest takeaway would be watch who you give power to.
Mhm.
So, for instance, say you have this isn't a jab at anybody, this is just theoretical. Say you have a co-star or a star. Say you're directing a movie
Yeah.
and you hire this person to be your star, right? I
Yeah.
just gave this person all the power, right? We get 3 months into production. How much power does that person have over this production,
Yeah.
right?
That's
You
tough.
get 6 months into production. How much power does that person have? Everything is riding on the person you gave that power to. And there's so many moving parts in there. Every person has that power, even your co-star or the extra that has to be in 4 or 5 times. You get down the line, that if what if they're not in there? How much power did you just give them to ruin everything?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that huge takeaway in the movie. in the movie scene. This is my first feature film, so that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest lesson.
No, I could definitely hear that crazy story, and I'm not trying to throw shots either my way, because like I can completely understand that because of I've done certain things, and just I'll put it like this, and kind of hurting a group, especially like all the egos that play into every moment that has to do with a movie or a music video or any sort of skit. You got to understand that there are going to be egos in the group,
Hmm.
and I can understand that. And a moment that sticks out to me is I had a group myself, and we were trying to do a cipher. And this was my first time actually just getting a bunch of people together for an actual, just anything, pretty much. Like I've always had people together and like we bounced ideas off of each other, but this was the first time that I've had to start, get everybody together, list it all. What are we gonna do? Where are we going? Location, blah 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 blah. And I had to
Right.
have it all listed out. I had to organize everything. And the entire time, I wanted everybody to, have their hand in it and be like, all right, well, I want to do it here. And I'm like, okay, what time? And they're like, okay, I could do it at this time. And the entire time, I was just like, all right, let me know. Nobody really said anything until the day of the actual thing. And keep in mind, like I was saying, like I had people actually, everybody knew what was going on. And I told them even before, I'm like, let me know. This is the last time I need information from you. And they're like, oh, no, we're cool. Or nobody said anything. Then when we get to the first location of everything, everybody has to be like, oh, well, I don't want to go do this here. I don't know if we're going to have enough time. Oh, I'm not getting a hold of so and so. And I'm like, bro, y'all had 6 months to get
Yeah.
a hold of to tell me all this stuff, but you waited till now to tell me.
Yeah.
And
Just look at
no,
all that power that they had.
yeah, bro. And long story short, like the video came out dope, but it's just like the craft that's behind it. I can understand, and that I never understood until I started doing this stuff and creating a little bit more behind the scenes. So I would say that in a way, it's kind of bittersweet because it opened my mind to be a little bit more appreciative of people such as yourself that are in these shoes. That like when I've been on other sets, like I've not shooting it yet, but I have a movie in Chicago that I'm one of the side characters I'm even in. Even just taking like advice from some of like the coaches and whatever that I can better my own craft and just and acting in general. Because right now I know nothing when it comes to acting, and I'm trying to better it so I can be better and just being appreciative of the moment.
You working
So,
on that right now as you doing it.
yeah,
It's
e-
good
even
practice right now.
even just doing this stuff like
Yeah,
bettering my hosting skills, just interacting with people, just
exactly.
being appreciative of like people that are definitely, I take it with a grain of salt going into anything, or just being like, hey, I know this person probably knows something more than I do, so why not gain that wisdom? So
Right,
never
right,
know.
right.
But is there anybody in the videography land that you've kind of had like a sensei, like a Jedi, like master, so to speak,
And
or you just been
nah,
all just like learning it on your own, picking it up as you
picking
will?
up as I go. I mean, I picked up things from people along the way, but kind of just a thing, doing it as I go type thing. I'm really
Okay.
trying to break out of that. I'm trying to get into where I'm working with more people. It's uh full transparency. It's kind of hard to put that pride away and
Yeah.
to be vulnerable like that because even though I don't feel like I've went where I need to go, I still feel like I have a little bit of an ego when it comes to what I've done. It's like I don't want to be a production assistant on your fucking set. I'm a director and I can run this entire thing. What do you mean? But that's when egos get involved and stuff. You gotta.
I think either way, as an artist, like there has to be that. If there's no ego and you can't stand on you can't stand on 10 toes on your own shit,
Yeah.
then like
I mean,
why
the
am I
ego
gonna?
is important to have, but you can't let it control.
Yeah, I would
You
definitely
gotta make
agree.
sure you got
Yeah,
control.
definitely. And I think that there's ways that, like what we're just hinting on, that we can definitely hone that into something to be strong for you in a sense. And I'll make an analogy. So like in a sense, like we said, Star Wars. We're both big Star Wars fans. Like the Force is such like a very powerful thing. It could be influenced in any which way, which I can relate to your own ego. I could say that you can be influenced by certain people that have very bad intentions for you, and you can be influenced down a path that will lead you down a road of sorrow and like manipulation and madness and chaos. Or you can go and you can put in work that might seem terrible and like build the pieces into something that could be led down a positive path. It's yours to
Thanks.
choose. So,
Thanks.
but
I like
but
that.
hey man, just thought of it on the spot. No,
I
I
love
read
it.
it.
Good job. Yeah.
I'm actually reading my notes right now, so everybody don't
Good
but
job. I like it.
I know we're talking about in our previous talk before we had to start this new one. I was asking a question based off of where did the separation between artist and now creative director happen? Like, did that just happen like on a whim? Like, were you just one day just like, oh man, like I'm just not feeling this stuff no more? Or did like a certain event happen where you're like you had to rethink things?
No, that is a deep question, and we almost got into it pretty deep earlier, but it's hard to recreate this. It's a little bit of both. I kind of mixed, came out of music and went to filming kind of together. Like I was doing the music and the filming, and then kind of I would film more.
Hmm.
And then man, I think 2021, I had like this mental break, and I needed an identity shift, for a lack of better term. Like something had to change, and something big had to change. And my identity that I had built for myself then was a musician. I was an artist, music engineer, videographer for my music videos. I was running a small record label. Um, and it was either going to be that or it was going to turn a lot darker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
something had to change, and it was like maybe a gift from the universe, and it gave me just like a second chance at life. And I woke up one day and there was no more music, and I wouldn't even listen to music. I quit listening to it in the car, and I quit watching TV. I gave up everything and started meditating every day. Gave up music for audio books. I swear I listened to 200 books in 1 year. I bullshit, I was listening to it every day, soon as I could till when I couldn't. Like
Okay.
it was insane. I fixed so many wrongs that year. I mean, like, dude, so many wrong. It was little shit too. It was little things that I wasn't thinking of until I recapped the year. It was
Hmm.
like that year when I gave up music, my videography went crazy, right?
Yeah.
I went back to school and I got an honors diploma. I went to then I went back to school again. I got my soft essential skills certificate. Then I got a QuickBooks certificate. Uh, and then I went and got wisdom teeth taken out. Things that are, the small things that have been killing me my entire life that I've never. I know it seems small, but these are things that I have just put off forever.
The
And
building
all of a
blocks,
sudden,
man.
I look down, bro. I had a fucking six pack. I was eating the best of my life. I was like, I had all my high school shit was finally taken care of. Everything. I'm meditating every day. I'm like microdosing psilocybin and shit. I was too
Yeah.
scared to actually do it, but I did do the microdose thing for like 8 months straight. And I swear to God, I did a breakthrough. I
Okay.
found the lotus flower, my dude. I found something
Hey.
deep inside, man. And that's kind of where my ego death came in, to where it doesn't control me anymore. If I ever did come back to the music now,
Hmm.
I gave up my ego for it. I could put music out right now and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if nobody heard it. If I would have did that before, it would have destroyed me. You know what I mean? It's like you post something, that shit hurts, dude. You put your everything into something and nobody even cares. Like
Yeah.
that was kind of you had to give up something big. And I'm so glad I did, man. I know that's a kind of a long story, and it does get a little deeper and longer than that. And there was a lot of stuff in there, but fuck, it was
Hey.
a wild ride, dude. It was wild.
First off, congratulations to you, man. That's a very positive thing, an amazing thing to hear because I definitely know what that feels like. I've also had my fair share. I think. Would you all say it's like not like a rite of passage, but it's almost like a thing that artists go through when it comes to just being in the industry. Is just like you're kind of struggling with falling victim to like caring overly so much about what others think of your craft that you're losing sight of why you even did it
Oh,
in the first place.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think every single artist has to face that.
And like what's something like if you can relate it to yourself or you can relate it to like some advice you would give, but what's something that you would think that would help artists push through that? Would it just be accepting it? Would it just be like the way you accept it?
Man, honestly, it's going to take work. It's not going to be just something you can just do because it's not an easy solution to, or it's
Yeah,
not an easy problem, so you can't have an easy solution for it,
right, right.
right? Because there's a deep cause for the ego, especially when you make something that you put your soul into and something that really feels you, and then it gets ruined just by some what somebody else thinks. I think it's just something you have to continually put the work in. So if you when you meditate, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about why this is happening? Are you aware enough to know that it's happening? Be aware first. Do you care too much what people think? Like that's the very first step is you've got to know because some people are just oblivious to it.
Definitely.
Are you even talking for yourself? You know, a lot of the people that are making music, I'm sure they're not even making music
They're being
for them.
handed something, yeah.
Yeah, they're making it for everybody else, and which that's okay unless you're a creative. And me, I can't say I ever cared to like blow up when the music or anything, but I feel like I'm a genuine creative. Like I just really enjoyed creating. And when I noticed that it wasn't about that anymore, I knew that there was something there. So I had to find the awareness of like, what the fuck is wrong with this now? Why is this not
It's
what
not
it used
clicking.
to be? Yeah. So put in the work to know first. So it's
Okay.
not going to be an overnight thing. I know it's not a black and white answer, but I don't think there is one.
Oh, I definitely believe it too, because I've had to do my, like I said, I've had to do my own soul searching, and I've noticed that as well. Like, even doing a throwback to like what I was just talking about with like just being able to command the attention of like a room full of egos, just stuff like that. Like I said, I went through with it, and I'm glad that I went through with it because at the time that it did eat me a little bit because like everybody, it did seem like everybody turned on me at like the last second, even though like I was trying to make sure that they understood, hey, I'm trying to get as much information about how we can make this the best thing possible, but then nobody communicates until the very moment that we need to execute the plan, and that sucks. But
Yeah.
I understand that um, ego could play. I had two choices between either not doing it or doing it, and I'm glad I did it. And that's a an example of like letting the ego slide a little bit
Yeah.
on like just understanding that the moment is bigger than you. You have a room full of people. I think. Let me know
That's
if
that
you
awareness right there. You get
let
that
me
awareness.
exactly. Let me know what you think about it. But I would say that a lot of people struggle with just letting that go because of like how their brain is already grasping it, is that they already have a grip on an idea or the way that they want it to go, but they have no idea that other people also have a grip on like how they see it, and they can't fathom that they're gripping it a different way. Like
Yeah.
how, like do you think like possibly that could contribute into like even just beef or just people just like falling out or like friendships and like all that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think communication is key in those moments though. Like if you can just communicate that. So say I've learned to do it doing music videos for artists. So say they got some elaborate crazy idea that I can't execute and I know why I can't execute it and I know why they can't execute it. You
Yeah.
can't just shit on somebody's idea or anything like that. So you have to be realistic. Like this is a crazy idea. I love your fucking ambition. This is dope. This is dope. But how can we meet in the middle here? And
Right.
it's all about communication. If you can approach anybody the right way, I feel like, I mean, there's probably some people that are just gonna shun it anyway, but if you got, I don't know, you probably shouldn't work with a bunch of people that can't comprehend that we have to work together on a bigger project.
Of course.
But that's
Of
hard to
course.
tell until you get there, right?
Of course, and I'll put that into like the whole snakes in the grass analogy. I mean, you kind of got to go through the jungle regardless. If this is what you
I
want
like
to
that.
do, if this is what you want to do, you got like there's no way I can just give you an answer on how you can avoid the snakes. You kind of just have to walk. If you get bit, you get bit, but you know how to steer clear
Oh
moving
yeah.
forward into the jungle of the snakes. You can be like, oh yeah, don't go over there because I already know how that goes. Or you can be like, hey, well, I kind of have to go down this path and be like, hey, so there's going to be snakes over there, but I need to make sure that I have my head on straight or bring somebody with me that has my back, just moving
Yeah.
forward. But definitely, hey man, I appreciate you sliding on through and being able to take the time out of your busy schedule and chop it up with me about
For sure, bro.
your amazing adventures and taking me on a magic school bus journey. I thought I only got to watch that in cartoons. I didn't think I was gonna get to do it on my own, but this is fucking crazy. Beating
Nah,
people
man,
up. Now we're
the
getting
pleasure was all mine, man. I'm always excited when people even want me on. I'm like, for real?
Oh
Me?
yeah, hell yeah, bro. Bro, if you haven't seen the videos, bro, man, I've been watching like whether it's a reel or just any like video, like music video you got going on, man. Like I said, like you've influenced me in other ways that have influenced certain crafts. I'll tie this into just myself, and then I'll bring it back to my final question. But just me moving forward, just as an artist, even like I've had to just go through my own epiphanies and the whole movement behind myself in general, like the whole Royal name and all that stuff. It comes from Royal comes from I don't have it on me right now, but my mom passed when I was young. My grandma just passed last summer, and
Sorry.
thank you. And my mom used to always say that we're all kings and queens of our own worth. It's up to us mentally to push ourselves. So that's where Royal comes from, and that's where the whole kings and queens brand comes from. And I grew up in the suburbs of Fort Wayne, so people used to call me Cappuccino all the time because like I went to a very like white school. So like that's just what they called me. And then Chino, and then Royal, and then so the whole movement is behind just people believing in themselves and understanding that if you don't stand up for what you believe in, nobody else will. So and make sure that you turn all the L's into lessons. So it's just
Facts.
gonna happen and just keep
Turn
moving
the L's
forward.
into lessons. I love
Yeah,
it. I'm putting that on a shirt.
yeah, L's into
No
lessons.
copyright.
Hey, bro, no copyright on myself either, because I gotta go ahead and I took that from some other.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, I know.
I
But
love it.
it's a good quote.
Yeah, it is.
But like I said, man, I appreciate it. I've noticed a lot coming from you. A very strong individual, passionate individual. I want to go ahead and meet you finally. I'm glad I did. But it leads me into
Thank you.
my final question, and that is, where do you see this stuff going in the next couple of years for Brian Foster? We Are Media. Like, what's the overall end game of what you got going on?
That is a perfect time to plug the movie I'm working on because
Hey,
I want to be like the biggest movie director ever. I mean, I really just I want to plug my movie because that's what I'm working on now. But in the future, I do. The trick is to have 20, 30 movies under my belt, maybe some passive income, maybe, but that's not
hey,
what it's about. It's, having a legacy. My kids can look back on it one day and be like, dude, my dad was busted ass on this shit, you
mm,
know. But the movie I'm working on is, you would probably like it, man. We got a lot of similarities with the music, and then the stuff we like, the Star Wars. You got Buzz
hey,
Lightyear in there.
plug me in right now. What's up?
Marawambies is the movie. It's it's got it's if you watch this movie, you're gonna know that I am a fan of all these things. Like,
Okay,
I have Easter eggs everywhere. Like, you can go. I even have a clip of a lightsaber battle I had in the movie.
that's
Um,
hilarious.
yes, bro, it's great, and I really think you would appreciate it. I think a lot of people would. I chose a comedy because it's my first feature film, and it gives me a little bit of room to fuck up a little bit, and I could still maintain the story, and it's
Of course.
still, you can't do that in like a Mission Impossible movie, like if the golf club's on the wrong side, somebody's gonna point it out. They're not gonna point it out marijuana. But
Right.
still, we did focus a lot on the quality, on the comedy, on everything. So that's gonna blow up. So find that.
Yeah,
I gotta put that into the universe. Go ahead, universe. You heard me. That's gonna blow up.
Link it down below.
Yeah. Go ahead, link it. Marijuana's, what's that link you said earlier that has all the links? I forget what it's called.
Oh, link tree.
The link tree in the comments.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man, but that's it. And I really appreciate you having me on, man. You've been real good. You're a real good host. Yeah, that's good questions. You got your good charisma. Good job, bro. I'm happy to be here, man.
Hey, man, and you already know I did all of this just to be like, bro, put me in the movies now. Put me in the movies now.
Hey, if this really does do decent, man, well, there's gonna be plenty more, bro.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Like I said, I appreciate it. Shout out any place we can find you real quick. It's gonna be in the description, but go ahead, shout out any place we can find you because we need
Facebook or the TikToks or the Instagram. I don't ever answer Instagram though. Really though, I'm in my 30s and you're gonna have to go ahead and find me on Facebook.
You're just gonna have to find me.
Go ahead, hit me on there. I keep the messenger up, so write me on there. Or you can find my email, wearemedia317. That's the letter R, not ARE, @gmail.com.
Well, hey man, appreciate you again. As always, till next time, stay royal out there. Peace.
Fuck you mean? They don't know. Better learn real quick. I'm the king of the show. Nigga built this shit. We on the go. Like a prime might be. Getting in the low.